sort of mainstream sort of nexus or whatever that would need to be done to do a deal like that? So.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem with building this sport from day one. I mean, from day one when we bought this company, it was, we bought this company because it was going bankrupt and going out of business, but worse than that, it had a bad stigma attached to it. So we started at less than zero when we bought this company. And to turn it around, and the problem was we never got, when we bought this company, it wasn't allowed on pay-per-view. Porn is on pay-per-view, okay? The UFC was not allowed on pay-per-view. That's how bad it was. And our goal was to get it on free TV. So it took a long time to get the respect from these major networks in the television business. But the thing that we never did is we never bowed down, we never rolled over, we never said, oh, let's just do whatever they want to do so we can get on TV. We did it the way that we thought it should be done. We did it the way that we wanted to do it, and we made our way all the way to Fox by doing it our way.
The first event's an hour long. When the deal actually kicks in January, the events would be more like a traditional event.
It's a work in progress. We're still working on this thing. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to do it. I don't know the answers to that yet. You guys know how it is with us. We want to bring the fans as many fights as we possibly can. And one of the big deals about doing the deal with Fox, too, was we have so much content. We're doing so much stuff. We needed enough platforms. So we're going to be on Big Fox. We're going to be on FX. And then the amount of programming, the crazy programming that we're going to do on Fuel's going to have, it's going to be, you're not going to not want to have Fuel. Let me put it to you that way.
So you're producing brand new shows
Yeah, and live fights. We're going to be doing live fights and Ultimate Fighter from different countries. The English-speaking countries will have the Ultimate Fighter from there on Fuel. I mean, there's going to be a lot of crazy, cool programming on Fuel for UFC fans. I haven't. It's literally, that's the last thing I'm concerned with. I'm not even thinking about that yet. We'll figure it out and we'll get it up there at some point. But I'm more concerned about the production on the Big Fox show right now.
Can they air on Hulu, or because of the spike could they not?
No, they can't. Yeah, our deals are not up until January, and then we can do it. We can go wherever. That's when we're really in business with Fox. This November 12th fight is just a bonus fight, just to kick off the relationship. Because in our Spike deal, we can do broadcast, network television.
Now, as far as the Fox deal, you've spoken for a while about doing live fights every single week. Is that
I'm doing it now.
You basically are doing it now, but is that something you've worked into the Fox deal?
No, not really. We have our schedule for next year, and it ends up being something like 34 fights next year. Yeah, this year was 27. Next year's 34. That's how crazy that's going to be. You guys, I don't know if you heard me say last week or a few weeks ago, my weeks blend together too. But there's going to be days where we're doing 2 fights on the same day. And the way that we'll do that is from different countries. Okay. Whether we're doing a fight in Japan, we'll do one in Vegas too. We're doing a fight in the UK, we'll do it in Vegas too. And basically, or here somewhere in the United States, and lead in with the fight from another country, and then go live on pay-per-view with the fight here in this country.
Is that locked in for February, the tentative plan to do the Japan and Vegas?
No.
No.
If we do it, I'm assuming that would be our first time that we would probably try to pull that off. I don't know if that's going to happen yet, but that's the one we're talking about.
Some people have criticized that, saying that you're going to have to start so
People
early
have
in
been
Japan.
criticizing me for 10 years.
Yeah.
Every move we've made over the last 10 years was the wrong decision and stupid, and it would never work. So I'm going to continue to make stupid decisions that don't work.
How hard have you found the challenge of doing these back-to-back events week after week and building them up? Because you kind of have to build each event from scratch in each market and everything.
Yeah. Well, it's part of building the business. It's part of what we do. The thing is every time we go into a market, for instance, I'll give you a perfect example. Washington, D.C. We just did that fight night. And the gate there for the fight night was almost $1 million. That's how strong ticket sales were in that market. And we put on an amazing event, bells and whistles, the whole thing. If you guys were there, you know that fight was almost like, it felt like a pay-per-view when you were there. It felt like you were watching a pay-per-view fight, not a fight, minus the commercial breaks in there. But when you leave a market like that and you put on an event, the fighters delivered, it was awesome. And when you leave a market like that and have that type of an event, that's what helps spread the word. 10,000 people that were there that night go and, you know, water cooler talk with 10 other people, and that's part of the whole. It's how the buzz spreads about the sport and about the UFC.
Now, speaking about that DC event, a big concern and I guess a criticism of the lighter weight classes is that they've just never caught on with fans. The ratings are actually really impressive. Do you think that means that fans are starting to believe in Dominic Cruz? Or?
Yeah, I don't think that there's I don't think that the fans never believed in the lighter weights. What happened was the lighter weights didn't exist in the UFC. You know, these guys were in the WEC, which didn't have the brand power that the UFC has. Now that we're getting these guys, and everybody's going to have their own opinions about it. I think Dominic Cruz is awesome. I love this kid, man. He can't wait to fight. He loves to fight. He's well-rounded. He can do everything. He's not one of these guys that's one-dimensional. If he goes in against a good wrestler, he defends the takedown. He doesn't mind standing up with guys. I think Dominic Cruz is going to be a star. You know, and the other thing that I like about the kid, he broke his friggin' hand. He could care less. He could care less. He didn't even. Most fighters, if their earlobe is sore, they blame that on why they lost the fight or why they didn't look good or whatever. This kid fought the entire fight with a broken hand and never even mentioned it. You know, he's like, yeah, this kid was fast. He was tough to deal with here, there, everywhere else. You know, I take my hat off to him. Then sits through an entire press conference and doesn't mention the broken hand. So I said to him, you didn't even mention the broken hand. He goes, who cares? What difference does it make? I'm going to get it fixed this week and I'll be back for the next fight. Are you kidding me? I love that attitude. You know, guys usually have 50 different excuses on why they didn't look good. That kid could care less.